My story, well, it started about 1.66 billion years ago with a little colony plant. It's kind of yellow and green, and it was underwater. And it was hot water, and it was bubbling. And that was the first life on planet Earth, the tree of life. Yeah, I'm not out of Compton. I'm straight out of the trailer, actually. Was I there or was I not? That's my ancestor, the tree of life, the first life on Earth.
I'm Jenny Coulson, maiden name Vintage. My grandfather sued the city because they had a dam that broke and it flooded his mill in the early 20s. He sued the city for $1 million, and that was big money back then, and we got wealthy over that. I feel I'm OCD. I like to stay busy, and I love clean surfaces. There's feng shui, the energy created based on having nothing on a surface. The wind that gets to blow through that hallway or that channel is very cleansing and really healing to the human spirit.
And welcome to the Second American Revolution. But I was born October 18th, 1967 in Sterling, Colorado. And was almost born in a garage, but my dad had mercy on my mom after he laughed at her for getting stuck 8 months pregnant. Grandpa Glenn, when I was 7, he belonged to a Civil Air Patrol. And he owned 7 planes over his life and only wrecked 1. When I was 7, Grandpa Glenn took off from the Crook, Colorado airport and finished off his 375 milliliters of blackberry brandy. Stretched, he says, "Okay, boy, it's all yours." It was a 57 Cessna Aerobac trainer, and it's got controls front and back. And so my first solo in flight, I was 7 years old. I did pretty good.
And I love to pick up stuff, especially if it's in a walkway, you know, it's just out of place. Oh, that drives me nuts sometimes. Yeah, and I think of it as my civic duty. I love to see things get thrown in a trash can. And my dad loved it too. He loved to go to the dump. He loved to get a whole load of stuff and go to the dump.
Got accepted to all 3 schools I applied to at high school. University of Colorado Boulder, Scripps, Oceanographic Institute in SoCal, and yeah, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology.
My great-grandfather, his name was Robert Webb Vintage the First. He ended up building a home in North Bend, Washington, and with that money, and that's our legacy. He had a big windmill. And then later in the 60s, when my grandparents were living there, Robert Webb Vintage II, his son, Grandpa Bob is what we called him, put in a pool in the ground. And so we had a pool in the 60s.
And to finance my way through school, I sold marijuana at the freshman dorms. And I lived 60 miles away. My buddy Arthur would front me 2 pounds a week, $1,000 a pound. Sold it to the college kids for 35 bucks a quarter. So I made about 2,400 a week to sell weed.
But yeah, I need to learn about satellites, and I need to learn about maybe what's underneath us. Maybe we do have a whole other existence underneath the ground and floors of Seattle.
And MDMA, ecstasy, was still legal then. And that's still my favorite drug. It's kind of a combination of cocaine, mushrooms, weed, speed. It's neat stuff. The kids call it Molly. But I just got lucky enough my whole life to be about 6 months ahead of everybody else. We have the People's Harm Reduction Alliance here, and our motto is never use alone. use with somebody who knows what they're doing, me.
I have to go and do an errand. I have to go and make a police report because I was robbed by a robot the other day. Just based on his movements, I could tell he was very robotic, and I had $8,400 in that fanny pack. He ripped it off of my waist, and I had been spending that evening with that gentleman.
I rode with the Sons of Silence in Colorado. The Sons of Silence are the regulators for the Hells Angels. Well, there's a dispute within the family or between families, and then I'm the judge, jury, and execution. You snitch, you die.
Where do the robots stash their stuff? You know, where do I go and look for my $8,000? That's the most money I've seen in a long time.
To be a 1%er, you have to do 5 years in prison and not snitch, not talk. And I've never been convicted of a felony. So I never thought I'd actually become a 1%er, Hell's Angel. We had the 100 kill rule, 92 confirmed kills. I've only ever killed one human being in my life. And the rest of them killed themselves rather than faced me.
I don't know who does these robots. I really don't. I would like to learn more. I don't know if it's Tesla or do we know who the robot creators are?
Last money I made was 3.5 years ago. I'm beyond it. I don't need it. I trade. I barter. And I'm a 5-star chef since 1991. For the Hells Angels, I make their ice. Ice is not methamphetamine. It's totally different. You can use as much as you want. It won't kill you.
I don't know anything about satellites, really. I know that there's one floating around that was taking pictures, and I learned about that in the 90s, late 90s.
My first year here, 3.5 years ago, in April alone, I had 3 blankets stolen from me by men. And 3 women I had saved those blankets for died of exposure. They froze to me because I wasn't tough enough to go and kill them for stealing the blankets that would have kept those women alive. So, am I an advocate for the homeless? Yes.
I want to learn more about robots. I do. I know that there are different races, maybe aliens involved. Where do mushrooms come from? How do I get happy? Is there a dial? You know, is there a... Oh.
I won't move into anywhere until everybody in Seattle who wants a home gets one. And when that happens, I'll move into it. I'm not telling.
Is there, I need to learn more about serotonin, whatever it is that makes us happy. Dopamine, I want to learn because I don't want the things that make me happy to be forbidden or against any rules. It's really my civil liberty as a human to be happy.
Because housing is a basic human right. Food, water. For whatever reason, our wonders governor or mayor decided you couldn't get water in this town without paying for it. They shut down all the drinking fountains, cold. And the only thing that was left was the ferry terminal has water fountains. So I would gather and clean empty water bottles and make sure all the passed out fentanyl addicts, everybody else had clean drinking water. But food and water are basic human rights. And with our food bank system here, and with the help of the restaurants and the locals, and people from all over the globe come here to see what we're up to in the great libertarian utopian experiment at Pioneer Square. We're trying something totally new. And it's called Take Care of Ourselves. I don't take food stamps. I don't collect unemployment. I don't need it. I don't use money.
Happy is a big deal. Yeah, let's fight and preserve our happy. Drive me native son.
I'm the train they call it.
The city of New Orleans.
I'll be
Gone 10,000 miles by the day is done.